For fans of Role Model, Flip Turn, MJ Lenderman, and more, you will love today's guest. His debut album is out in August, and you can already hear singles from it now. And he's here to tell you all about him. Please welcome Palmer. How are you?
Dude, I'm good. That was so sweet. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You got a new song that just came out. For when people are watching this, it's out now. When we're
Yeah.
recording this, it's out at midnight called Miss Evergreen. When you announced it on Instagram, you stated it's about your wife, Autumn. Can you tell us a little bit more about that song and how it came to be?
Yeah, of course. Man, Miss Evergreen is definitely one of my favorite songs I've ever made.
Hmm.
It's like also one of the lighter songs I've ever made. Like a lot of times the content is pretty heavy, but like this one is like light feeling, and I think that's part of the reason I really like it. But
Hmm.
yeah, me and my wife got married last May, and
Just celebrated 1 year.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
May 19th. And so yeah, pretty much she was the muse for the song, and she's just super steadfast. She's amazing. She's very
Hmm.
steadfast, and her love is very unconditional, and that's essentially what the song is about. So it wrote itself just because of her personality, honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like it just came to you very easy, very stream of consciousness type writing. It's easy to write about things and people you love, you know?
Yeah, totally. And yeah, totally. I remember making it in like 2 days.
That's
just like
crazy.
just like staying in my studio for like 2 days, and then it was done.
Yeah, some songs take a little bit more than 2 days. I'll ask about that in just a second.
Yeah,
It is the third single in just as many months. My Fault came out in June, Piggyback in May. What's it been like seeing the reaction as you build up to the album release that's coming in just a month?
yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's definitely a challenge doing it indie, but I think that's the way I've always done it, and it's
Hmm.
always been a challenge. And this is the first time I've ever had like um, obviously this is the first album, but this is also the first time I've ever had a bunch of masters like ready to go for
Yeah.
releasing without like finish because I produce and mix. So like
Hmm.
this is the first time I've had like multiple masters ready and then just focusing on the like marketing content art side. It's normally like, okay, I finished this single. While it's in pre-release, I gotta finish the next one
Hmm.
that comes out, and then I'm working on the next one, like still working on the song.
Yeah.
So this is unique to where um, I'm getting a lot of time to like uh, really think about the creative side post finishing the song, post
Hmm.
master. And so yeah, like with Piggyback, I had a lot of fun just like trying a bunch of different video styles and doing a bunch of content like that. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's been cool. It's been cool. I feel like it's it's fun to hear and be encouraged by people, and like Instagram and all that isn't everything, but
Yeah.
you'd be lying if you said that it didn't feel good, like when somebody sends a DM or whatever, that they like really love the music,
Hmm.
that they really support what you're doing. And it's just like I'm just making these songs at my house fully
Yeah.
start to finish, and the fact that like somebody in Ohio is like feels moved enough to like DM me on Instagram about it is a really cool thing.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I've mentioned in other interviews like music is like the one of few universal languages in the world, and the fact that you can just write these in your house, someone in Ohio, someone in Canada, Japan, anywhere in the world can be influenced by it is fantastic. You mentioned it's your first time having like multiple masters ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
When did the writing process for the album start?
Dude, that's a good question. Um, I I mean, the song that came out second, "My Fault," that I made
Hmm.
that song in like 2021, like
Yeah, I was
late.
gonna ask about that in just a second because you said it was on a hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just answer both, I guess.
Okay.
But so "My Fault," that's definitely the oldest song. A
Hmm.
lot of them are within the past year. A lot of the
Okay.
songs are within the past year, but there's a few on there that are like 2, 3 years old. So
Hmm.
it's definitely the culmination of a longer time frame, just because like since I produce and mix everything, it's like it's kind of hard to just make an album in like 6 months. It's not really possible.
Yeah.
Um, at least to how much time I want to put into it. So yeah, it for sure takes a while, but the I guess the like place I was in when I was writing and creating, I was never really like um I'm gonna write songs for an album, or like
Mhm.
I'm doing a concept album. Kind of all the music is just like an extension of like my life and how I was feeling at that current time, on that current day, in that hour, in that minute. I was never really like creating to create an album. It was
Right.
always just creating um, because life inspired me, type of
Hmm.
thing. And then it just like kind of is fitting together just because it's me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there wasn't a ton of like, okay, well, I think this will mesh with this, so I'm gonna make a song in this style.
Hmm.
It wasn't really any of that. It was more just like what comes out of me from the last 2 3 years is this album type of thing.
Okay. So it's pretty much the big culmination, but it was never gone into with a huge concept in mind.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
spot on.
How many tracks are going to be on the album?
It's 11. It's 11.
11. Okay. Pretty good
Yeah,
length. Pretty good amount of
yeah,
songs.
yeah, dude.
Um,
It's awesome. I'm
and the
excited.
album is called 3 Foot 5, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How did that name come about?
That's a good question as well. So the title track, or not the title track, the opening track,
Hmm.
called "Piggyback," um, is essentially about like losing your rose-colored glasses as you grow up, and
Hmm.
like seeing the world through a little bit of a harsher lens, and like coming into the harsh realities of life. And as you
Yeah.
grow older, those things become more real. And um, 3 foot 5, like one of the lines is, oh man, how's it? I'm forgetting how it goes, but
You wrote it. I'm
I know.
kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's so true. But essentially, oh yeah, it's piggyback ride, go from 3 foot 5 to invincible.
Hmm.
So it's like when you're a kid and you're 3 foot 5 and you get a piggyback ride from your dad, it's like, holy cow, like
Yeah,
I
like you're on top of the world for those 5 minutes.
exactly, exactly you are. And the ending line to the song is I'm not 3 foot 5. I forget what I say. But yeah, I don't know. I forget what I say. But the last line says, basically, it says, I'm not 3 foot 5. And
Hmm.
yeah, so it's just like a representation of growing older, pretty
Yeah.
much. In the simplest terms, it's a representation of growing older.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do more songs on the album kind of follow that theme in loose ways?
Yeah, I would say so. I
Okay.
would say so. Most of them fall into place there. Whether it's like a lighthearted song that feels like a childlike
Hmm.
spirit type of thing, or there's a few tougher songs on the album, like
Okay.
"Love You Still" and "Endlessly." Those are both tracks that like fully align with the 3 foot 5 thing, like life being hard. The last
Mhm.
two songs, same way. So like, yeah, they definitely fall in there. Whether it's for the lightheartedness of growing up, or the
The tougher
harsher
parts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. And this is not really your first foray into music, of course. Your first release was all the way back in 2019. When did you realize that this is kind of what you wanted your career and your life to be?
Well, if what am I trying to say? um 2019 was actually not the first release.
Okay, it's just the first one that I saw on
It's the
streaming.
first release that hasn't been deleted.
Oh, okay. So when was the actual first one?
Yeah, so first release I think was 2018.
Okay.
Late 2018 was the first release.
Okay.
And I started making music senior year of high school.
Hmm.
Everything music related, I kind of started. Um, my senior year because one of my good friends, his name's Grant, he got me into like making beats.
Hmm.
And so we were like making beats together and like had a beat YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then kind of it just like happened by itself. It was like I was
Hmm.
making a lot of beats and then feeling like, you know what, I feel like I have something to say over this.
Yeah.
And it started just culminating into more songs. And
Hmm.
I think to answer your question, um, I feel like in the past, probably 2022 is when I felt like, okay, I'm like settling into my sound, which is
Yeah.
4 years.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it was a big question of mine, like when I started, what's my sound gonna be? What I don't know what my sound is. How do I find my sound? And the
Hmm.
answer to that is you just keep making music. You just keep
Yeah.
making music, and be be inspired by music you love, but
Hmm.
don't let it drive your songs. Like you are you. No one else can have the ideas that you have. No one else can have the exact combination of words and melodies and um, you know on top of that mixing, like if you're mixing
Yeah.
too, nobody, when you start to combine all these different elements, you're gonna have your own sound.
Hmm.
um, and so I think yeah, the moment when I was like, okay, I can do this, it's kind of when I feel like I um, like found my found my sound and
Hmm.
felt like I was creating original music that wasn't super inspired, to be
Right.
honest.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I had no plans on asking about this, but you've mentioned it a lot. You produce and you mix all of your own stuff.
Yeah.
Um, how is that process, and like what does the process entail? Because you're writing, you're producing, you're mixing, you're promoting as well. It's pretty much a one-man band.
Kinda, yeah. Uh, I will say when I play live, my some of my best friends play with me,
Yeah.
and they're phenomenal. And on
Mhm.
some of the tracks, there are like other instrumentalists. So
Okay.
I don't want to take all the credit, but there is I do wear a lot of hats,
Hmm.
and it's special. It's special.
Yeah.
When you produce and mix, I would advise any aspiring artist to at least try, because
Hmm.
it opens up a whole nother world of personalization and individuality to your music.
Yeah.
It's like the purest form of what I want my ideas to be, start to finish. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And when you have a separate producer, separate mix engineer, a lot of times, things get lost in translation.
Yeah.
You ask somebody to like draw a portrait of your face, it's not going to come out exactly how you want.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so in this manner, in this like creative field, it's really special to be able to produce and mix.
Hmm.
Um, Not because I'm amazing at it, just because I've put time into it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? For better or for worse, I'm producing and mixing. Like maybe the music could technically sound better if I outsourced, but the thing is,
But it's
like,
not your true, uninterrupted, no other egos or minds or ideas in the
yeah,
mix. It's just your vision.
right. It's just my vision, and I think that is what, and I think you can hear it in the songs, and that's what I
Hmm.
think people can relate to on a subconscious level. Is like, this kind of doesn't really sound like anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anything I've heard. It's like folk pop, indie rock type of thing.
Hmm.
Like it's familiar, but when you actually like dive into my music, it's hard to be like, um, this reminds me of this reminds me of this artist so closely, because
Right.
like it's just, and that's not because I'm like better than anyone else at all either. It's just because I'm I'm doing it start to finish, so it's
Hmm.
like super unique. And
Yeah.
I think uh it's my favorite, it's surely my favorite part about
Hmm.
creating, for
How
sure.
long how long does it tend to take to once a song is written and recorded, how long does just production and mixing take for one song?
How long does just production and mixing take?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, I think it's important to note that sometimes I don't always finish writing the song before I start production.
Okay.
I've, I've been trying to get better at writing the entire song and then
Yeah.
going into production because if you if you just write a verse and a chorus and then you go to produce it, a lot of times you'll get stuck
Hmm.
and not finish the song. So, with that being said, on the songs that I finish writing before I step into production and mixing, um, it honestly it happens really fast a lot of the time. Uh, like the first like 90% normally happens in like a day, 2 days, 3 days. The first 90% is
Okay.
happens really fast,
That's
and
yeah,
then
that's really quick.
that last 10% can be an absolute grind,
Hmm.
mix wise. Hundreds of small detail changes, like the most minuscule things that nobody's going to hear but me. Yeah, sometimes that last 10% can be super, super grueling. Like
Hmm.
I told you, I made Miss Evergreen in like a day or two,
Yeah.
and I did. I produced it and I mixed it, and I came back to it like day three, day four, and was like, this is not how I want it to sound.
Okay.
And I remixed the whole song. Like I started the mix over entirely and did it.
Really?
Yeah, some people say I've heard like pro mix engineers say to like mix in like 4 to 6 hours, so
Hmm.
mix really fast, and it keeps your decision making like fluid and better. And so um, I tried it and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like limit myself and mix this
Yeah.
in 5 hours. And so that's what I did, and the mix turned out way, way better. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess to answer your question, sorry, that was a super, super long answer.
No, you're good. I love going in depth on like what it takes to make and create music beyond
Yeah,
just writing lyrics or strumming chords, you know?
yeah, yeah, cool. Cool. Yeah, that's kind of the gist. Is it happens pretty fast,
Hmm.
honestly, but the last getting it over the line can take
Yeah. Putting
triple the time
yeah,
that it took to make up to that point. You know.
putting those minute details in and making sure it's absolutely perfect to your standards, which I think even if fans won't notice it on like an individual level, it still shows the care that's put into it, and they'll still notice that in other ways.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. It's been great having you on. And before we wrap up, where can fans find you on social media?
Um, at Palmer Trees underscore.
On everything.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I
Okay.
guess. Uh, yeah, I think that's me on everything. That's
Okay.
me on TikTok too.
So everyone make sure you go follow if you want to stay up on when the album is coming out. And the last song, the one that I end every interview with, what are your three favorite songs at the moment? Just like the ones you'd recommend to anybody who asked.
Whoa, that's a good question. Um, I'm really liking this guy Danny O'Keefe right now.
Okay.
He's like artist from the '90s, or not from the '90s, from the 1970s,
Okay.
and I mean, he made music past that, but his self-titled album came out in I think 1972. His name's Danny O'Keefe, and pretty much the O'Keefe album. I can't pick three off there, but my favorite one is called The Road.
The
Um,
Road.
the Road, yeah,
Okay.
and then there's some other hits on there, but those would that would have to fill my one, two, three.
It's
Just
just
really
that
that whole
album.
album, yeah, is what I've been listening to a lot.
Okay. I feel like I've heard the name Danny O'Keefe somewhere, but I can't remember where.
Yeah, he is awesome. You should definitely dive in.
Okay. I'll have to give him a listen. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure.
Of course.
And thank you to everybody for watching. Make sure you go stream Miss Evergreen. It's out now when you're watching this, and stream 3 Foot 5 when it's out next month. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.